Hey, this is Len Amsterdam from Canada. And you're listening to Bunny Pop. This is Len Amsterdam from Canada.
Hey Len, it's Shelley from Red River calling in to do an exclusive interview for the Len Amsterdam Show.
Very exclusive, I might add, Shell. Let's start this off with a big American cowgirl yee-haw.
I don't think so, Len.
Well, what's up with that? Are you giving me attitude?
Well, you've done that routine on the show before, and, frankly, the Red River Wolf would make for a better effect.
Well, I don't know about that. I've seen the Red River Wolf, and the name sounds ferocious, but it's only a little dog. Oh well. Go ahead, Josie. Wow, that's impressive. How did you get that dog to talk?
I think it's that fresh country air.
Now, Red River is a duo, and the other half of the duo is David. Shelley, can you talk a little bit about this main collaborator of yours?
Well, we're married, which is great for getting together to work on music because we're both here. David's written songs all his life. I'm kind of a novice, but I do okay sometimes.
Who's the leader of the band?
Well, I'll tell you, Len, one half of the team has the talent and the other half does radio interviews, so I guess I'll leave that to you to figure out which one is which. I write some decent songs sometimes, and I go in and I lay down my vocal tracks, and then David takes over and he does all the hard work. He plays all the instruments, because I'm really a bad guitar player. He does all the arrangements and the mixing. So I never know how a song's going to turn out, but boy, I think they've all turned out great.
Who is your major musical influence?
Actually, my major influence was my best friend. She was in a band with her brother and some other people, and she was great, by the way. This was in junior high, so it was back at a time when country was definitely not cool. I was after her all the time to teach me some chords on the guitar, and she finally was nice enough to do it. I'd saved up my pennies, and I bought a guitar at a record store. I couldn't even tell you what kind of guitar it was. All I remember is that it was red. Hey, red. And I know the first song I ever learned how to play was a Merle Haggard song. I practiced my chords and my fingers got really sore, but I finally learned how to play a song. So anyway, to get back to your question in a roundabout way, it was my friend Alice, and then it was Merle Haggard who influenced me. Of course, there's some other people like Buck, God rest his soul, and Ray Price. Wow, that really brings back memories. I'm not a big fan of the country that's on the radio now. I like Alan Jackson, and I love George Strait, and some other songs are good, but I guess my heart really is in that old traditional country. David, on the other hand, his roots are in rock music. His heroes are people like Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, Brian Wilson, guys like that. So when we combine our styles, I think the songs come out a little bit different because we have such diverse influences. And that's cool. That's what makes Red River.
How did Stay With Me come together?
I was trying to write a song one night, and I thought I had a good idea, but nothing was working out. So I said, the heck with this. I'm going to put on some Buck Owens music, and I'm going to sit back and just relax and enjoy the music. And after a while, I kind of got inspired, so I just started strumming some chords, and I was channeling Buck, and Stay With Me was the end result. It was a one-take demo, and it really wasn't meant to be a recording, but it turned out it had a life of its own, so we just went with it. That's why the song is so short, but a lot of people seem to like it, so hey.
Where do you get your storylines from?
A lot of my songs are snapshots of my life, and then a lot of them are just from my imagination. But I like putting something of myself into almost every song I write. It's kind of hard for me to speak for my better half, but what I see is that David is more of a concept writer as opposed to me, who just writes straight storylines. I guess I would compare it to being outside in the middle of a storm. He would write about the feel of being in that moment, and I would write a background story to go with the storm.
Can you talk a little bit about your family life?
We've got 5 kids between us, and they're all off on their own adventures now. So we have our 2 toddlers, Red River Wolf, also known as Josie, and her brother Bob, and we call him Guitar Cat. They keep life interesting for us. Anybody who has a pet knows about that special connection you have with them. They're really our babies. Other than that, we have our day jobs like everybody else, but our music is what keeps things interesting.
Can we expect to see some Red River product in our local music stores sometime soon?
We're going to put out our first CD this spring. It's kind of exciting. It's something we've worked toward for a long time. We don't know if anything will come of it, but it's just something we need to do to maybe leave some kind of imprint that shows we were here and maybe we had something to offer. We don't really have stars in our eyes, but if somebody likes our stuff, that's great, and who knows? Everybody starts someplace, so here we are.
Well, Shell, we're coming to a close. Is there anything you'd like to ask Len, Amsterdam, from Canada?
You know, I do have a question for you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. I was wondering, is Len Amsterdam your real name, or maybe you're just on the lam from a big radio cartel?
That's a real shocking question you're asking there, Shell. Let's ask the dog. Hey, Josie, what's my real name? Well, there you go. I hope that answered your question.